Hey everybody, Josh here. Today we're going to make a mid-century modern inspired dining table. My wife's been begging me to build a dining table for our new house since our current table is way too small for the space, as you can see. I said sure thing.
One eternity later.
Starting with the legs. These are made from laminated 5/4 ash. I'm going to use my jigsaw to rough cut the lumber into 8 pieces. Here I'm passing one side over the joiner to get a flat glue surface. Then using Titebond 2 wood glue, I glue the 8 pieces into 4 leg blanks. I made a template out of 1/2" MDF in the shape of the finished leg and used double-sided tape to attach it to each leg blank, then passed it through the router with a flush trim bit. Quick cleanup. I had some blowout from running the router over the end grain of one of the legs, so I'm finishing up with a belt sander instead. Didn't want to risk any more blowout. Now moving on to the thigh of the leg. I used the angle of the leg to get the proper cut line and then cut it on the miter saw. I'm using a Jessam doweling jig for all the joinery in this project. I have a link in the description if you're interested in getting one for yourself. Time to dry fit the joint. I'm only using 2 of the 4 dowels and putting them in opposite corners. This gives me a reference for top, bottom, left, and right, and makes it a bit easier to take apart. Looks like a good fit. Now I'm working on attaching the legs to the short apron of the base. Again, using dowels and dry fitting with only 2 per joint. Now the long aprons. This is going to be a tricky glue up. I ended up gluing one leg all together with the apron ahead of time, but everything else had to be glued up at the same time. Because of the angles, everything has to be slowly tightened a little bit at a time. On to the glue up. Not only was this a pain, but my camera battery died before I finished. Got the inspector doing the rounds. With the base done, it's on to the top. Made from the same 5/4 ash, I glued this up in 2 sections since it's a pretty big table at 44 inches wide and 9 feet long. I'm using oak cauls here to try to keep the panel flat. I like to clean up any glue squeeze out with the wet rag. I'm using a Makita planer, link in the description, to add a deep chamfer to the bottom of the table. I use this project as an excuse to buy this tool, and I'm pretty happy with it. I clean up the marks from the powered plane with the hand plane and finish that off with an orbital sander. I put a small chamfer on the top and then finished it with a water-based polyurethane. I went with a water base to prevent it from yellowing in the future like an oil-based finish would. And here are the final pictures. Thanks for watching.